I have received this RFP from the customer Aurora Healthcare Network for setting up this particular system, and they have reached out asking us to respond with a statement of work. For simplicity, I have included all the information in the body of the email. Once this email was received, so I convened a meeting of the internal stakeholders who would be working together to compile the statement of work document. This is what we discussed. The different stakeholders, who's accountable for what, etc. All those assignments are captured in that meeting. And again, for simplicity's sake, because I couldn't fake an actual Teams meeting to record this, I have captured this in the form of an email, and then I have circulated this with all the stakeholders. So, with this in mind, I want to reach out to my agent here, which is the project charter agent, and I'm going to initiate a new project and then ask it to orchestrate the entire process of compiling the statement of work response. I'm saying that I received this email today from the customer, and it is about this particular system. And then I'm asking it to start the whole process of compiling the SOW response. While this happens, you'll notice that this desktop app is calling a hosted agent in Foundry, which implements the agent loop for this whole process. And this hosted agent uses the notion of a session that I'm hovering over here. For every session, it creates a sandbox virtual machine where it persists the state of the agent loop at any point in time. The idea being that in this particular use case, um, not every action can be done in one go. The actions like looking for the email, looking for the kickoff meeting notes, and then sending those task assignments can happen in one shot because all the information is available upfront. But then individuals who need to collaborate here will work at their own pace, which means that this agent should be able to pause to wait for others to update or post updates on that task. So at that time, it should actually hydrate the whole information and store it in the sandbox VM that I spoke to you about. And then once periodically this agent wakes up at a designated time, every day or every hour, and then it look for updates. Okay, look for across the Teams channel, across emails or chat messages in Teams, and then look for those updates, and then updates its status to take cognizance of all of that. The agent is running right now, and then it has picked up the RFP information, and you notice here that it shows you the brief information about what that email contained. And so it's persisting all this state to the sandbox VM that I mentioned, so that it maintains a log of what happened, and then it can pick up the pieces when it needs to restart or continue from a point where it last left off. It is now creating the SOW charter, which is one of the first step before the SOW response document gets compiled. So basis the information already available now, it's going to populate this SOW charter with that information. I can close it anytime because I wouldn't want to sit and stare at it all day because I have other work to catch up on. But I can bring it up anytime that I want by just clicking on this, and then I have the agent in front of me. You notice here that I can work on multiple projects at the same time. So in this case, I happen to be the SOW coordinator, which means that I'm initiating and anchoring the whole thing and using this agent to collaborate with others and then help me realize the end state. It reduces the cognitive burden on me to determine what stage every project is. This maintains the state for me and quickly brings me up to speed on the status of it. So now it's going to look for the kickoff meeting notes. So while this is running, let me show you what the architecture looks like. So here we are. This is the desktop agent app that I have open in front of me. And this integrates with the Foundry hosted agent in Azure. So there is a custom agent which implements the agent loop. The session state is maintained inside the sandbox VM that I spoke to about. This agent is powered by GPT 5.4, which is an Azure OpenAI model available. And the agent itself is built using the Microsoft Agent Framework. And the agent hosted here exposes a responses API compatible endpoint, which the desktop app is consuming. And for integrating with the Microsoft 365 intelligence graph, so the toolbox in Microsoft Foundry here is configured to use the WorkIQ MCP endpoints for Teams, emails, OneDrive, SharePoint, and so forth. So all the calls that I make from the desktop app is uh, um, is orchestrated by this agent, which in turn makes a call to WorkIQ and surfaces all the information and also implements actions. For example, I need to send out task allocation emails or Teams messages. It is all done through this WorkIQ integration. So let's go back to the agent and see where it is at this point. It is still looking for the meeting notes. Okay, it has extracted the kickoff assignment, so it found what it was meant to look for. So I'm getting those pings about all the status messages, task allocation messages, I beg your pardon. So if I were to look at my sent box, 10:38, yeah. So these are the task assignment email. If I go to the Teams chat, you see that because Vishaka is an internal, uh, she's a colleague of mine, it was able to use the Microsoft Teams channel to allocate the task for her. Whereas Kishore P happens to be from a partner organization, so which is why it couldn't send a Teams email message, to sending an email to that person. So that's the benefit of this agent, where it can choose whichever channel works, and then it can reach out to those collaborators and make sure that I don't have to worry about all that. It gives me a good summary about what it has done so far. Okay, so here is the project dashboard. It gives me a quick bird's eye view of where things are at this point in time. So these are the case studies and customer testimonials that need to be included in the SOW response document. Let me go ahead and share that as my input. And now I could go here and say that I can either click on this button run now, which is going to check that out, or I'll just simply type in the message. So I just got that ping about the incoming message about the case studies. I'm scrolling through the the project status logs here. You see a time-based capture of what all has transpired so far. So when I'm coming back to this project after a week or so, it's easy for me to check this out and then quickly come up to speed on where we are on this SOW response. Okay, I just wanted to show a couple of other things here. So if I You'll notice that I'm using the skills-based approach here. So there are two skills that it supports presently, and it is extensible. SOW response is one of those skills, and this internally is comprised of various different tasks or different steps in the whole process. One being looking for the RFP, the other being extraction of key tasks, and then task allocation and so forth. This is the overarching skill document for SOW response. Internally, you see that it refers to other nested skills here, each for a specific uh, step in the whole workflow process. So the skill definition itself is modular because we do not want to have an all-encompassing skill across all these steps in a single prompt or a single skill. It makes it very unwieldy. So I have chosen to break them into smaller components so that there are multiple sub-agents, each corresponding to one of these tasks, which accomplish that part of the task allocated to them. So that way it keeps it simple and it keeps it lightweight in the whole process. Let me check if it has come back here. Yeah, so I think it got the information now. It found that Kishore has submitted the case studies and testimonials, and then it refreshed the dashboard page here to acknowledge that fact. This concludes the demonstration.